Here we see Billy Pilgrim, born in 1924, cradled by his mother and his father a barber. Here, Billy plays in his father's barber shop, learning to shave and play in his youth. This progression is Billy's experience while learning to swim. At the YMCA with his father, he is thrown into the deep end of the pool. His father believes strongly in sink or swim mentality. This is a source of trauma on which Billy has drawn back to multiple times in his life. Here we can see Billy studying at the Ilium School of Optometry for his exams, which will later lead him to a career in optometry. However, before he is able to graduate, he receives a letter from the government. He is summoned to serve in World War II for the Allied forces. Billy is sent to fight in the Battle of the Bulge. He is unarmed and unequipped with anything but civilian supplies. Billy is lost behind enemy lines. Billy soon finds 3 people in the same situation as he is in. 18-year-old Roland Weary and 2 British scouts take in Billy, and they continue to try to find their own line. Weary is much infatuated with the idea of becoming a war hero and telling war stories for all to hear, to praise him as a hero himself. However, the 3 musketeers and Billy all are caught behind enemy lines and are taken to a POW camp by train. Many people on this train died on transport, including Weary. Billy is the only of the 4-party group to survive the train ride. He is later taken to Dresden, where he is stored in a slaughterhouse and then a meat locker to survive the bombings that are then raided on the city. The raid over Dresden was to take out only 2 military targets. The rest of the city was obliterated for these 2 targets. Millions of civilians were killed. Billy survived, and so did Vonnegut, in a meat locker such as this, 60 or so feet underneath the ground. Billy comes back from war and proposes to Valencia. After a mental break, however, Billy is sent to a veterans hospital where he meets Elliot Rosewater, who kickstarts his love for killing more trout. Billy then graduates from Ilion College of Optometry and becomes an optometrist. Billy then marries his sweetheart Valencia, and they start their own family. He, Valencia, Barbara, and Robert start a comfortable life. Although Robert was a troublemaker in high school, he soon found his place as a Green Beret. Although not implicitly stated, it is obvious that to Billy it was a great source of pride that his son had followed in his military background. Billy then continued to support his family with his optometry business. Billy was fortunate enough to be able to watch his daughter get married and live his life as normally as he could. However, this had changed after a plane crash that caused him severe trauma to the head and completely changed his way of thinking and life. In fact, this plane crash was the indirect cause of why Valencia had died. Despite Billy's trauma and hard times, he then becomes a public speaker, going on all-night radio stations to talk about his views. But after one of these speeches, he is then killed by one of his acquaintances from the war. Billy's life progression is nothing outside of the ordinary. However, this is not how Billy saw it. In World War II, Billy became unstuck in time. It is here, in a ditch in the midst of World War II, Billy first time travels. Billy is overcome by a purple haze. He realizes this is death. Red and bubbling, he knows he is born. Billy relives past traumas, experiencing them as if they were happening again and again. Billy finds himself at his son Robert's Little League banquet. He hears the coach gleefully exclaiming, "I would happily be the water boy for these boys." It is here Billy first encounters his trip to Tralfamadore, where he finds that he is under a dome, trapped, being looked in upon by aliens. He has a son and a mate. Billy is thrown forward once again to his daughter's wedding. He realizes he is then on that night abducted by the aliens that he had been captured by prior to this, and he also sees death yet again. Billy does not simply share his ideas and his opinions on this all-night talk show, however he does embrace the ideology that the Tralfamadorians have given him. He expands on them, and he pronounces to the world that they must believe in it too, for they have been deluded into thinking they have free will.